Are you running out of time for finishing an afghan for somebody you want to gift? This happens to me all the time. I regularly postpone or get an idea, get inspired to make something for somebody right at the end of the time period. So let me give you my best tip for creating granny square blankets quickly. Okay, I'm only going to share one tip here, but I am going to discuss it quite a bit and how it works on each stage. So my best tip is that you batch everything you're doing. So in the end, my squares are going to look like this, with either red in the center, ruby is the name of this color, cream on the outside, and then green around that. Or I'm doing the opposite as well. I'm doing every other, green, cream, and ruby. This green color is called forest, by the way. So my top tip for doing that is to batch everything. Grab one ball of yarn at a time. By the way, this yarn is the Dollar Tree Premier Just Yarn Worsted, and it is incredibly soft for $1.25. I feel like this is a really good value. I've been really impressed with it. Okay, so I grab my one ball of yarn at a time, and I grab my crochet hook. This is a 6.5 tulip. This is, I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, this is my absolute favorite hook right now. So I grab this. I keep a little pair of scissors handy so that it will just be as quick as possible. And then I crank out as many with this center as I need. So in this case, I'm doing 24 squares total, 12 with the green center, 12 with the red center. So I sat down and I just cranked out one after another, 12 centers. And here I go. I am on my way. And then I moved on to the next grouping, which was the red, the ruby, and I did 12 centers of these. And you can see I do not even do the ends in yet. I just do this beautiful little square, and then I cut the yarn and move to the next. I take no time other than making sure I'm continuing to go and do all 12. Once I have all the right numbers, or if I'm on the go and I usually have an extra ball of yarn, but if I'm like, I only need 2 more of these, so I'll finish them and then I'll grab my cream yarn. I then batch that too. So I'll grab all of these center squares and I just go crazy, and just finish the cream on this. And I guess this is a second tip. I really love the look of all the different pops of color from individual one color per row. But when I want to emphasize the color in an afghan, I really feel like 2 is the better method I like the look of the 2. When it's paired up, it kind of gives a bit of a rickrack sort of look to it. I think it kind of looks almost rickracky, and I love the look of rickrack. That's just one of my favorite looks. So again, I just go crazy with the ball of cream until I finish that whole ball of yarn, or until I finish all the squares, whichever comes first. And then I start on the greens and just keep going on these as well. Once I get through all of these, which as you can see, I am still working, then I will do the next. I'll grab this and I'll do all of the green centers with the red outside. And in this way, like, I only have to focus on one thing. And I feel like our minds switching back and forth, like, oh, what color do I need now? Where is that? Where did the scissors go? All of that. It takes a little bit of mental energy, and that little bit of mental energy when you are trying to go fast adds up. At least it does for me. So I always, so to recap, I get my stuff all together, my hook, my scissors, and my yarn, and I decide which step I need to do, and then I just batch until I am done with that specific step. and then I put it aside and go to the next one. And in that way, I have to think about it one time. I have to make the decision one time. Okay, I need 24 squares total. I need 12 of this and 12 of that. But then when I'm sitting down, I have to decide, do I want to do red? Do I want to do green? And pretty soon that decision itself gets made for you. When you are done with the green, you move on to the red, or vice versa. So batching makes things so much faster, and it really helps me. I love a good mindless crochet project, especially when I'm talking to a friend or talking to a child or watching a good show or listening to a podcast or a book on audio. I love being able to not have to pause whatever it is I'm doing to think through things. I can just go, and I find it really comforting to have my hands busy. You can probably tell because I use my hands when I'm talking. I find it extremely helpful to have something to do with my hands, to be able to concentrate on the other person if I'm having a conversation, but not when I also have to make a decision about what I'm doing. So that's where it allows me to have a conversation naturally, and still make a lot of progress. And in that way, I tend to do most of my crocheting in the little margins of my life, in the bits and bobs of time that I have. I will almost always have, if I'm working on a project, I will almost always have the next step somewhere nearby. Like I'll just have these 3 things somewhere nearby. Like if I'm working on something in the kitchen, throwing pasta in, I'm waiting for water to boil. I'll sit down at a kitchen chair and I'll just work on one of these for a minute or two. And then as soon as pasta's ready to throw in, I can just set it down because I don't have to think about what's this step again. I can just come back to my work wherever I happen to set it down, and I will know what to pick up on and keep going. Okay, that said, I guess this is maybe another top tip. One of the things that I do find myself, and maybe your mind doesn't do this, but my mind, I want to see how an idea is actually going to look before I invest the time to do the whole project. So one of the things I found extremely helpful is to prototype a little bit. So in this case, I made the square with the green in the center, or the red in the center and the green on the outside, and the other one with the green in the center and the red on the outside. And then I really wanted to know how it would look joined together. I always use always is the wrong word. My favorite join is the continuous join. And so I didn't even finish this whole join because I'm not at that stage yet, but I did want to know how it would look to have the red and the green together with the white or the cream between it. And so I just did a little prototype swatch. And once I could see it, that was all I needed. Now I feel confident that I really love the look of it. I love the feel of it. We're good to go back to batching. So if your mind also works like that, where you just keep wondering and it takes your focus in a different direction, it may also be useful for you to do a prototype and get that out of the way. Then your mind can settle into the task at hand and you can just batch these bad boys and knock them out. And so that is my top tip: batch and make it easy. Decide once what that task is going to be and just work through it. Let me know if there are other things that you have found really helpful to do construction on granny squares or other Afghans really quickly. I would love to know those. So if you have any tips that you want to share with us, please drop them down in the comments below. If you are new here, my name is Amber, and this is Hearth and Hook, where we talk about all the things crochet. Glad to have you. Bye-bye.